The Christmas season, what a fabulous time it is to gather with friends and families, to take a break from life. And of course, who can forget the gifts from the one and only Santa Claus that is, or at least was. Recently, people have been scrutinising Santa, calling his actions disturbing, intrusive, savage even. These accusations have been doing rounds in the media, causing an uproar from the people. Follow me as we take one big look at this whole situation and come to our own unbiased conclusions, for better or worse, naughty or nice. I'm Jeffrey Batayatyre, and this is how the government stole Christmas.
On to more pressing news. Local journalists have told us that Santa Claus has come under fire from the local governments, particularly the Greens Party. I don't know exactly what's going on, but all we've told is to let everybody know to keep their doors locked this holiday season. Make sure nothing can come in that's not wanted. No! He's got away with this for far too long.
Is there not a little
He's been going on with no restrictions, but this year we're changing. What we need to look at in these times is not what is happening, but why.
By the time this documentary is released, the events have settled and tensions have ceased. We began filming long before it was done, to capture the story from where it begun. If you're unaware or need to recall, I'll start from the beginning to cover it all.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
The recent fires that have swept across the country in January have been blamed seemingly on Santa Claus. There's no concrete evidence at the moment, but I'm going to try and gather some experts for interviews and see what I can find out about this puzzling situation.
On that day, I began my quest to find someone who could explain it all. I needed more than the news could suggest, and found Harold Figby, who answered my call. A CO2 scientist willing to share and guide us through what was happening there. This here is Harold Figby, the most experienced and only scientist to get back to me regarding this matter. Harold, thank you for your time.
It's snow. Trouble at all.
Okay. Anyway, with your recent findings, what have you found to understand a bit better of what's got Santa so under fire?
Well, me and my team, we study CO2 emissions. So we look at the amount of emissions in different areas at different times. And one very strange finding that we found was directly after Christmas this year, there was a massive spike of CO2 emissions. And that was very strange. We haven't really seen it before in previous years. So we were wondering, why that was.
I see. And with that spike in CO2 emissions, what did that lead you to discover?
Well, we, looked into it, and the best way to look into it is to get a piece of coal that was used during that time and figure out its source, So that was our next coal.
Okay. And with that coal, what did you gather from studying that?
Well, we looked into it. Put it under some microscopes, got our team to study in its various aspects. And one thing that we found is if you look at it on an atomic level, you can see that each individual carbon of atom is exactly the same. Not just like, they're all carbon with the same amount of protons and electrons, but if you have a look, they are all exact duplicates of each other. They are perfect copies. No pun intended.
There was no pun?
Yeah, it wasn't intended.
Okay. And so with the duplicate atoms and whatnot, what did you sort of discover, and how does that link to Santa Claus?
Well, I've been a carbon scientist for bit over 2 decades now. I know quite a bit about the field. I also have a lot of scientist friends who know quite a few contacts. So I got together a bit of a team. We studied through it. We made a bit of a study out of it. Got it peer reviewed and things like that. Looked through various bits and bobs through our carbon history and trying to figure out what exactly could be the cause of this weird duplicate thing that was happening. And after all of that, we took it up to magic. So pretty much, obviously the only living magic user currently after the purge is Santa. So it kind of has to be it.
I see. And so you believe that Santa is, responsible for the spike in CO2 emissions and this, weird coal fiasco?
He's at least involved. We believe him to be responsible in some sense, but not others. Our current running theory is that obviously Santa gives coal to the naughty little boys and girls every year. And so we believe, once again just a theory, that when he gives the coal to these naughty little boys and girls go to coal factories, and these naughty little boys and girls go and burn that coal. So these naughty little boys and girls are burning that coal, creating the CO2 emissions, meaning Santa isn't directly causing the CO2 emissions, but he is aiding in the crime.
Okay, well, thank you, very much for your time. We've learned quite a lot.
Yeah, I've learnt a bit as well. I think I need to do a bit more research. So, thanks for your time. If you could give me some space.
What was that? What was the aiding joke?
With all the CO2 now clogging the air, and the source of the issue discovered with care, governments and leaders took interest fast in what Santa might say with questions so vast. So I've arranged a meeting, it's set for today, with Greg Pate, who stands in Santa's way.
So you're against Santa, is that right?
Yeah, I think he's a
I see, and with the current state of things, a lot of people believe that Santa is solely to blame, whereas others think that the naughty boys and girls are also responsible. What do you think on that matter?
Yeah, it's a hard decision, and I think it's that bastard Santa, that he's so magical and he brings all this coal into my country, and yeah, so I think it's Santa. Yeah.
I see. Do you mind maybe just toning it down just a little bit for the interview?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I just get so worked up on this topic. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. And what do you believe? How do you think we could fix this? Solution wise.
Yeah. So I had to think about it for a little while. Just get all the odd ends worked out. I'm gonna kill him.
Okay, and you don't believe there's any more more diplomatic approach? Do you believe that killing him is absolutely necessary?
Yeah, it's absolutely necessary. See, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring his fat get out my sword, put a few holes in him, and then to make sure he's black and blue and tenderized, I'm gonna go make sure he's all tender like a good steak. And then I'm gonna go to my cupboard, bring up my gun and go. Put a few more holes in him, make sure he can't go anywhere. And then I'm gonna go like this, rip out his skull, and then start. And then he's gonna be like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this, how you beating me to death, bro, what's going on? This doesn't seem physically possible. I'm gonna keep going anywhere. Like that. And then get my dynamite like this, and go right up his and then so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, thank you for your time, and I sincerely hope that none of that goes to plan.
Yeah.
With that interview finally done, I had to find a way to keep things fun. Options were few, but then I caught sight of 2 PhDs debating that night. 2 PhD holders with knowledge to share, a perfect next step to continue from there.
This debate was the perfect find. Well-structured arguments from both sides to understand what both sides are thinking and what's really going on.
Now, on to one of my main points. Santa contributes drastically to the world economy. Did you know that Santa imports and exports about $500 billion worth of merchandise every year? He takes in $500 billion of raw materials into the North Pole factories, and he puts out $500 billion worth of products to the world. Now, imagine that, $500 billion of raw materials from poor nations, $500 billion given back to the children who need it most. Why would we fault Santa for doing such an amazing thing for all the economies, all the nations in the whole world, Dr. Thayhog?
Slaves! Santa uses slaves. Most particularly, our elf brethren. He uses them as slaves!
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
Well,
all that talk about all that economy, it rides on the back of our elf brethren. He abducts them when they're young, when they're old, when they're middle-aged. It doesn't matter. He takes them and he doesn't give them back. Not until they're too broken to be repaired.
my elf brother, Mr. Thayhog, I think you'll find that elves have it pretty tough when they're not under Santa's wing. You see, the North Pole... Dr. Thayhog, please, I'm trying to speak here.
Yeah, okay. Go on.
The North Pole is a very cold place. These elves struggle to survive. Do you know what Santa does for them, Mr. Thayhog? He brings them under his wing. He provides them with shelter, with food, with drink, with a purpose. Without Santa, these elves would freeze to death in the harsh environment.
My brother was taken. My brother was taken from his family, from his children, from his daughter. He was taken in the middle of the night by that red bastard.
Dr. Thayhog.
You fucker! You small little man, you shut up. This isn't even about you. That red bastard has got to die.
Whoa.
God!
So you're here for the death penalty, eh?
Fuck!
Well, death is what would happen to your elf brother.
Shut up!
Oh? This is very uncivilized.
You shut up. You shut up.
Oh, yeah? What are you gonna do with that, huh?
You shut the fuck up.
What are you gonna do with that?
You shut the fuck up.
What the heck, man? Why do you do that?
I hate you.
Oh, okay.
My brother's gonna die.
Let's just calm down about this, all right? We're just trying to survive
you
here.
next. You're all gonna die.
Get security, quick! Get security!
You're all a part of it. You're all gonna die. I hate you all.
What was this piece before it was damaged?
This piece was finished mere nights before the incident. It was my magnum opus. It is titled The Big Man. It shows the duality between Santa Claus and society.
Our authorities have been in direct contact with Santa Claus and his people.
But what is intolerable is that he has cynically raised the hopes of hundreds and thousands of families. You're a miserable pipsqueak of a man, God!
And this red cross, this black cross, represents the shattered relationship between them.
I think I know what my mother would say. I think she'd look across the dispatch box and she'd say, put on a proper suit, do up your tie, and sing the national anthem.
Blood everywhere. Crumbling on society. And Santa's magic is gone. All that is left is these black specks in the abyss.
Are you accepting it?
No, of course
No.
not. Rubbish.
The government is not accepting it.
We'll pick it up in 2 weeks' time.
Order!
Mr. Speaker, give him a belly.
It is almost poetic, in a way, this painting. I fear that society will tear a hole upon itself as it did my painting. I fear that society will ruin itself because of the loss of Santa's magic and tearing a relationship with him. In a way, it also represents my fears, my doubts.
With that kerfuffle now out of sight, it raised questions on whether Santa's right. But I'll leave it to you to make the call. A Christmas gift, your choice after all. Yet what was ahead was far more dire. Santa's trial in Perth was set to conspire. I had to find someone tied to the case, or Santa himself, and speak face to face.
Santa's trial has just finished, and we should be able to catch him around this corner.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! What are you doing here, bud?
I'm just here to see Santa.
Trying to get to Santa,
You wanna
huh?
see Santa?
Yeah,
You want to get to Santa, you have to get through us first.
Just want to ask him a few questions.
Yeah, it's a few questions. Nobody asked Santa any questions without asking for a knuckle sandwich first. Isn't that right, boys?
Yeah!
Yeah!
I don't really
All right.
Jingle his
All right.
bells.
Yeah! I gotta go, yeah. All right.
Unfortunately, the crowd was a lot more violent than we anticipated, and we weren't able to get an interview with Santa, let alone a shot. I'm just glad that we managed to get out of there with our lives. If we go along that path, it's scheduled for Santa to come out the back, so we should be able to meet him around the rear exit there, and from there we can talk to the big man himself.
That clearly didn't go as planned, but it wasn't our last shot to meet Santa firsthand. After the court, we followed quickly, but what happened next, we couldn't unsee.
Santa? Santa, it's Jeffrey, Jeffrey Potato Tire. I make documentaries.
Don't take another step or this fat son of a claus gets it!
Oh, my dear boy, please help me.
Shut it!
Let's all just calm down now. You know, there's no reason we can't have a nice civilized conversation about...
What do you want to say?
Why are you doing this?
Why am I doing this? You don't recognize me. Oh, you know, there's a reason why they call it the Greens.
The Grinch!
That's right. I infiltrated the Greens when they were very first founded. I planted the seed in their heads. And none of them caught on. But who do you think burnt all that coal?
So, ho ho. It was you,
Yeah.
my nemesis. Don't you know just how much pain you've caused, not just me, but the world? Yeah, you really are a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
No. You see, they all deserved it. They shunned me out. Nature gave me a heart that was 2 sizes too small. But I think it's about time that I took those sizes back. Maybe starting with a double XL, maybe a triple.
Well, I think we all just need to have a nice, calm little chat with me here. You know, and just let it all flow out. Everything you're feeling.
Well, I don't know. I've just been. It's hurting so much. I just want to be loved. Why?
My heart was pounding, nerves running high. I knew I had to act, no time to deny. To save Santa's life, I had to fight. The Grinch with a knife, no simple plight. A noble act, but risky too. To save Christmas for all, I knew what to do.
Thank you so much back there. You really are on my nice list. Or you would be.
Please, no need to thank me. You've done so much good in the world. I'm just honored to have been able to give you something back.
You know, I just don't think the world needs a Santa anymore. They've
moved on from me. The belief is no longer there. I used to bring joy and happiness, but now all I'm bringing is chaos. So if joy is not what I'm bringing, then perhaps it's time for me to retire the Santa suit and give it up.
But with this, it proves that the Grinch was behind it all. Shouldn't that clear your name?
My dear boy, I love that you still believe in me. The thing is now, the Grinch has opened a can of worms that cannot be contained. Even if half the people still believe, the other half are laying Santa traps on Christmas night. It simply wouldn't be safe anymore. Maybe someone can take my place, but I think my time has come.
Could this be the end of the Christmas cheer? Had the Grinch truly won this fateful year? Santa was shunned, cast out from the rest, just as the Grinch had been, no longer blessed. Maybe Santa had a point to see. Perhaps it's time for someone new to be. Maybe someone else should take the lead and step up to fill that crucial need.
The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. And the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow and snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really grab me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Oh, the fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.